if you are here, you know that we are facing a global crisis right now. COVID-19, coronavirus, SARS-2. It is a huge deal, and I want to help you guys protect yourselves. So as you know, some terms that you're probably already familiar with is N95, surgical masks, cloth masks, homemade masks. But which one is right for you, and how do you get it, and what does it all mean? We're gonna break it down, so keep on watching.
The CDC says the world is the epicenter of the deadly coronavirus. Death tolls and the spread of COVID-19 are rising at unprecedented rates. Government officials around the world are strongly recommending social distance at any cost. This pandemic, it appears, isn't going away anytime soon.
Okay, so I'm gonna just start from the beginning, right? This is a surgical mask. It comes in its own little protective plastic. All of them would usually, let me see if that'll focus right there. It should have an expiration date on them. Ignore my nails, we're in a quarantine and your girl's going through it. So this one says it expires actually in 2018. Even if it says that it's expired, you can still use it. It's still gonna protect you. It's gonna be better than nothing. But this is gonna be your basic surgical style mask. Protection. The next one up is one that you hear about all the time, N95. So these are N95 masks. Again, it's not open, so it's brand new. What it does is, if you can see it from the side in here, it's like a bubbled effect, so it's not really flush to your face, but it's really, really tight so that it creates an entire seal around your face. So first, a little breakdown in history about what N95 means. So on masks, you'll see N, sometimes you'll see P. The different letter in the beginning says whether or not it's going to stop like oil-based pollutants from getting into your mask. So N is typically like water-based. P would be like for oils and stuff like that. And I do have a P that I'm gonna show you guys, but N95. The 95 means that it's going to filter out 95% of pollutants in the air. So here's how it fits into coronavirus and COVID-19. If it's wore correctly, stuff like that. So this is gonna be like your consumer grade protection that you're hearing about all over the place. But this is actually not the best, and it's not even the one that's most readily available to us. So depending on where you are and depending on the demands in your area, if you go down to like your local hardware store, so your Lowe's, your Home Depot, you can get a construction grade mask as well. This is going to be even better protection. Why? Because this is actually a P100. It says it down there. I don't know if y'all can see that. Let's see if that'll focus. Yeah, so you see that P100. So this means it filters out 100% of the particles in the air. So if you look back here, it's a little bit better made, better quality. And this front right here is going to be your respirator. A lot of times when they're referring to masks, they really mean respirators. So this is going to help filter out all of the air that's coming in, making sure that you're getting all of those viruses and stuff out. And this one actually has a little paper. I wonder what it says. So yeah, respirators. This one's made by Honeywell. We know that the virus can live in the air for up to 3 hours because it's droplet, so aerosol. So if you walk down an aisle, the bread aisle, say for instance, and somebody who was carrying the disease had sneezed and they're gone, and those little tiny fragments of particles are still in the air, those N95s or even just a basic bandana over your face will protect you. But if you get in a situation where you are potentially caring for someone that you love at home who is ill, who has COVID-19, it's going to be imperative for you to protect yourself a whole lot more than just a bandana around your face. That's a situation where you would definitely want to wear an N95 mask, or even better, like a P100 mask or an N99. My mask that I'm gonna show you in a little bit, my day-to-day one that I'm wearing, it's reusable, is actually an N99. But why that's so important, guys, why it's so important to protect yourself to some degree is because we know based on research that there's different severity of disease when people get sick, right? So you see in the beginning they're like, oh, it's an old people disease. Well, now we know that it's not. You have healthy, 29-year-olds really succumbing to this illness. They're being put on ventilators and stuff, and it's a really tragic thing. But it's so varied. You can have healthy people who do terrible, and then you can have people who have comorbidities, or, you know, what they refer to as pre-existing conditions, and they're getting better. They're thinking now, of course, everything is on a learning curve, and I want you guys to give our president and I want you guys to give our medical professionals grace, because everything is new, so we're learning as we grow. So if you hear things that are sometimes contradictory, even as far as wearing masks, know that that's why. So in the beginning, it was just an old people disease. Now we know that it's not. Now you see healthy people getting really, really sick from it. The reason why, or what they're thinking the reason may be and what they're attributing it to, is your initial inoculation of the virus particles, or your initial introduction of the virus into your body, into your immune system. We know it's a novel disease. Novel meaning it's brand new, and that it did transmit to us from an animal or a mammal or whatever, reptile, whatever, wherever it may have come from, it's here now. But it's something so foreign in our body, has never been introduced to it before. So why masks are so important is because if I'm standing in front of you and I have the virus, or you're taking care of me and I have the virus, and I cough, that is a heavy load, a heavy viral load that you're taking on all at once. So say for instance, there's like 1 million viral droplet particles from my cough go directly into your system. Your body has never been introduced to it before, so it's like, oh, holy shit, like I'm over here having to send all of my fighter cells to attack all of these viral cells. So you have 1,000 of them, you know, and it's just your body becomes overwhelmed because your immune system doesn't have time to react. It's entirely too much and too heavy of a viral initial load, and that's why everything goes haywire and you decline extremely fast. It makes a lot of sense to me when they explained it in that way, and I'm like, oh, that makes so much sense. So that's why they're telling everybody to wear masks now, because now that it's here in the United States and we have our doctors and our, you know, virologists and epidemiologists and stuff looking at the data and looking at the research, they're like, okay, the initial viral load has a big deal to do with the overall outcome. So if you're taking care of somebody, if you are in close proximity with somebody who is sick, that's why it's really, really important to wear something that has a little bit more protection. So, or even just like in the grocery store or whatever, it's still good to have something over your face, because even if it's not going to filter out 95% of the viral particles, if you just happen to be somewhere and somebody sneezes or coughs, that's why they say a cough can kill you. Because if they cough and they're extremely sick and you take on that heavy dose of viral load, even if you're healthy, it's going to be bad. You may not die, but whenever they talk about mild cases of COVID-19 is still considered like bilateral pneumonia. That's not mild by any sense of the word. So it's bad. Like pneumonia is bad already. So if you can avoid that, why not? You know? So that gets me into homemade masks. Say for instance, you can't find any of these and you need to make something on your own. A really good thing and a really good way to protect yourself is make yourself a homemade mask. I'll actually show you one that I made. It's a little bit extra. But here she is in all her glory. Isn't she cute? So she's a Louis Vuitton, and she goes on like this. So fun and fresh. I actually do have an N95 mask inside of her. But say for instance you don't have an N95 mask or anything to put in it. Say for instance all you have is a bandana and you want to sew it together and put the little rubber bands and clip it behind your ears. You can do one better. If you go to any Walmart, CVS, probably even Amazon, the filters that you put inside of the door of your air conditioning system, or like in the vent of your air conditioning system, and I'm gonna actually put one up right here on the screen so you can see what it looks like. This is all you need. Buy one of these. They're like $20 or $30 for a big square of them. And they're antiviral. So depending on which one you buy, and it'll actually show you on the back what micron size that it'll filter out. Pause and read the highlighted portion. This would be perfect for your home masks as a filtration system. Buy that, cut them out, put it, like create a little insert in your homemade mask, put it in there, and then you have real protection. You have something that's really, you know, this is designed to filter out these particles. Granted, I'm not a healthcare professional. let me do my little disclaimer, honey. I am not a healthcare professional. I am not a virologist. I am not, these statements have not been vetted by the FDA or CDC or HOE or, WHO, whatever. But they're better than nothing, right? Obviously, you don't have to go do a full-on Louis Vuitton mask, but anything is better than nothing. And even one better, if you're making these already, make a couple extra ones and take them to your friends or your family members who are frontline healthcare providers or just on the front line in general, because we need to like help each other out, okay? So homemade masks, that's how you do them. If at the very least you can't even do that, like put a bandana, but do something. And then if shit really hits the fan, because you know your girl's prepared, I have a full-on gas mask. And yes, it's pink. Sorry, I did a thumbnail. But I just put makeup. But as you can see, you're gonna have full suction here. So it's going to be an airtight seal. And then this is the respirator that it breathes through. And then these are the filters. So same way, this is going to protect you from 100% all the particles. It actually says it right there. Let me see if I can get that to focus. You see that? P100. So it's going to filter out all of that oil, whole nine. I'm obsessed with this one. Like I said, if shit gets real, that's what I'm going to buy my groceries in, and not be bothered. But guys, there's a little added protection that I think you all should know, and I think you all should know how to quote unquote don and doff. So donning is putting on your masks.
Before putting on a mask, clean hands with alcohol-based hand rub or soap and water. Cover mouth and nose with mask and make sure there are no gaps between your face and the mask. Avoid touching the mask while using it. If you do, clean your hands with alcohol-based hand rub or soap and water. Replace the mask with a new one as soon as it is damp, and do not reuse single-use masks. To remove the mask, remove it from behind. Do not touch the front of mask. Discard immediately in a closed bin. Clean hands with alcohol-based hand rub or soap and water.
This is how you do it. You don't want to touch the interior of your mask. So you're going to hold it like this. You're going to put this over your face, and you're going to put this and put this behind your head, okay? Just like that. Woo. I don't want to mess up my good makeup, honey, and I don't want to get this mask all dirty. But anyways, that's how you do that. How you take it off is the same exact way. But there is, and I don't have one here with me. I wish I did. Shoot. To show you guys a cool way to store them. I have this box though. Hold on. I'll use this box as an example. So say for instance you have the mask on, right? So the mask is on. Shit, I'm just gonna ruin this whole mask. I'm just gonna have to keep it for hard times. But this is your mask, right? Whenever you go to take it off, if you have like Tupperware, right? Take the Tupperware, put it over this, and then take this off, put it back here, take this off, put it this way, and then take your mask off like that. So then you're not touching the outside of the mask, because if you've worn this all day, or if you've worn this to the grocery store, the viral particles may be on the back of that mask, and you don't want to be touching that. So this would be a fantastic way to take it on and off, and then whenever you go to put it back on, you just put it here, put it over the front, put it over the front, and then you're done. So fantastic way to take it off. And you can actually, the way that we do this is with Tupperware. So we put the Tupperware over our face, we take the strings off, and then we cover it so that we don't have those viral particles floating around. In addition to that, I want you guys to start thinking progressively. So do we want everything to go back to normal? Absolutely, myself included. But the reality is this is our new normal for now. So we should prepare accordingly. In the same way that you have a makeup bag and you keep all your makeup in because you don't want to get it dirty, or you don't want to contaminate your beauty blender and stuff, we should think the same way about our masks, or our PPE, our personal protective equipment. So I think it's really important that you have a bag or something that you carry with you.
Your anti-COVID-19 shit.
This is mine. It's see-through, so I can see it at all times. I know exactly where this stuff is at. I have hand sanitizer on the outside of it, so I always make sure that I sanitize my hands prior to me opening it. And then in here, because again, if you watched my haul, I'll actually put it up here just because it's really good and fresh, of Boss Babe must-haves. These are my little makeup junkie bags, but in here, I have my, if I can open it, inhaler. Because you know your girl's asthmatic and you just never know, so I always want to be prepared. But I do have my inhaler with me at all times, and I keep it all together like this. So I don't leave the house without it, and I always make sure that I sanitize my hands prior to opening it, and I want to show you guys what's all in here. Of my bag. This is actually my N99 mask, and if you follow me on social media, you've already seen me with this on. So this, I will take these. We do know from the doctor in Wuhan, China, that the virus can transmit through your eyes, nose, and mouth via the droplets, right? So it's super important to also have protective eyewear, especially if you're gonna be in an area where you're up close and personal with somebody for a long period of time and you just don't know if they might sneeze or cough at some point. So they're not the cutest things in the world, but they do what they're supposed to do. And they have a seal all the way around them. Let me show you. Can you guys see that seal in there? So that seal is going to make sure that it gets a complete snug fit around your eyes and nothing gets in. And then also inside of here is this antibacterial sanitizing spray. So it's alcohol, a little bit of aloe, and whoop, try not to spray my camera. Alcohol, aloe, and something else. So that goes in there, and that's what I can spray down my glasses with, spray down my mask with to sanitize it, and things of that nature. I want to make a really important insert right here about if you create that alcohol spray. I spoke with a good friend of mine who's actually in the military, and I was like, hey, I said I made this homemade hand sanitizer or whatever, and I told her how I did it, and I said 90% alcohol, and she was like, actually you should use 60 to 70% alcohol. And I was like, well, why wouldn't 90% be better? She was like, well, that's what people think, but if you use 90%, so here's the thing about any type of sanitizing thing, this is another one that I use a ton, Lysol wipe. But here's the thing about Lysol wipes, or about sprays, or in general any type of disinfectant, you have to leave this on the surface for at least 10 minutes for it to render the virus inactive. If you spray it on there and it dries in 2 minutes, that virus still has a chance to be alive and infectious. So that's why it's important to use 60 to 70% alcohol and not 90%, because the 90% actually evaporates too fast and it doesn't allow that time to disinfect and sanitize your PPE. So, fun fact, sharing because I didn't know, same thing with Lysol wipes. They're really great to have, but if you're not allowing that time to fully sanitize these materials, whatever they may be, then you're really doing yourself a injustice, whatever. Oh, at least I'm pretty. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I was able to help you pick which face mask is most appropriate for you. I hope that I shed some light on some misinformation or confusion or chaos. It's a fucked up time right now, but it is what it is, and we're gonna all get through this together. I felt like it was my job as one of you guys to bring it to you straight and tell you what it really is. Sometimes it's hard to listen to the people who, you know, either go way above our freaking heads or, you know, just can't really believe. I like to consider myself a reliable source, so I hope that you guys take into consideration everything I said today. I want you guys to protect yourselves, and I want us all to be safe and make it to 2021, because 2020 is... So, yeah, I'm gonna bring you some more content. My next one will be up later this week, so make sure you hit the subscribe button and ring the bell notification so that you're notified every time I upload. And until next time, guys, be well. Mwah.